After assessing the situation, investigators concluded that they were dealing with arson, but that would all change when they made their way into the home and stumbled upon a disturbing discovery. It wasn't a subtle attempt either. The remains of a red gas can were found melted onto the stove, where it had been placed in a skillet to heat up until it ignited. Police found several other gas cans throughout the residence, boxes of ammunition, and a homemade explosive device. Investigators could only assume it was meant to be triggered by the fire in order to destroy the house and everything inside.
And it failed them.
Had the fire team arrived just a few moments later, it could have gone off while they were on the roof, potentially costing them their lives.
That's really fucked.
Police believed that this evidence was meant to be destroyed in the fire, along with the video diaries, but those items were hardly the most shocking thing they discovered. There were 2 bodies in the bedroom of the Keller home, untouched by the fire. Tragically, the bodies were identified to be those of Lynette and Kayleen Keller. They had both been shot in the head.
Nice. Nice, look at all that smoke, oh my gosh.
Okay, make sure you don't touch this,
Okay.
because this gets really freaking hot.
It seems that what Peter's video diaries have been hinting at the entire time was killing his own family.
Part of me has a hard time even imagining doing what I'm going to do. But as I think about it, I always come up to the same conclusion.
So why was he saying that he was going to go rob places and shit then?
I'm starting to get more okay with it.
Retired Sergeant Cindy West was once again willing to share her thoughts on the tragedy.
I don't think either of them knew it was coming. Again, based on the conversations that we had with friends of both of them, it sounded like he was a loving, great husband. So I think they're both blindsided by it. And, you know, I don't know. This case just racks my brain. There's no way it's ever going to resolve in my brain, because you just think, why? Not only did he kill his wife and his daughter, but based on the friends and neighbors, he had this dog that went everywhere with him, hiking or apparently to go build a bunker, you know, for all these years. And he killed the dog too. He was afraid that the dog would give him away in the bunker. And so he killed the dog too. Again, there's no explanation. I mean, I get that he obviously had some sort of mental illness. Dipstick wasn't hitting the oil with him, but it just makes you shake your head. I've seen a lot of stuff in my career, a lot of bad things. You just shake your head about, you know, sometimes when things happen. But this case really, really got to me.
Cindy shared with us what happened when police finally made entry into Camp Keller. And what they find inside the bunker is even more shocking than anyone expected.
When our TAC 30, aka SWAT guys, discover the bunker, of course, they surround it and make sure everybody's safe, let everybody know what's going on before they hail to him saying, hey, you know, come on out with your hands up, yada, yada, all that. And it was just a short time after they initially tried to make contact with him that they heard a pop. So they didn't know, did he have an accidental discharge? Was it something else? They didn't know.
When the walls of Camp Keller were finally breached, police discovered that Peter had stayed true to his word and ended his life when faced with capture, soon after the police surrounded his stronghold. Perhaps this was Peter's only intention all along. He wanted to achieve this teenage fantasy of living out underground in the woods before he died. But he had no end game other than his own death.
Well, the fact that he was found was significant. We were worried what he might do to somebody else. If he's, you know, brazen enough to kill his wife and his daughter, then what's he going to do to somebody else? But I think there was a sense of relief that it was over, that he had been not apprehended, but that he was finished with his crime spree, that nobody else got hurt. There was so much potential for injuries to citizens and all the officers involved that it was definitely a sense of relief.
The camp was turned over to King County Department of Natural Resources, who eventually destroyed the bunker. Peter's cash hoard was donated to a memorial scholarship established in memory of Lynette and Kayleen.
Then that was kind of disturbing. The fuck? I mean, It's disturbing. I just don't know. I just don't get it. Why? Like his stories didn't make sense. Like the pieces didn't even match together. Like mad that like, he said he was mad that his wife is like sucking his money.
When someone gives
she's
a
like,
reason or cause for an action that is not a justification, for example,
she's got like
the kid shoots up a school after getting bullied is a statement that provides a reason or cause for the action, not justification. Second Dono. Justification is providing reasons that are intended to make the action seem right. Example, saying the kid thought it was the only way to stop the bullying is an attempt to justify the actions. Political admin make this mistake all the time.
Is this a Yepaton? I think in a case like this, they're both wrong. I think both are wrong. Yeah, that's my take. I think they're both wrong. Nobody wants to hear your fucking lamenting dog shit when you're making stupid ass fucking decisions. I don't think anybody gives a fuck. I mean, I clearly don't. I have zero sympathy for people like that. Sorry.
$59.99. We just go from 49 to 69? Where's the 50 fucking 9?
How do people actually value things, right? They basically get to do, well, I would say A-B testing, but here it's sort of, well, you know, A-B through D testing. Now, hero skins, right? A cosmetic armor that doesn't include stats with one for every class. And, yeah, so that's one of the things they're testing. The other one is a mount. A new mount type other than a horse could come with additional features such as gaining cosmetic upgrades for completing in-game achievements.
Cool. Great. I like the sound of that. In-game achievements. Cosmetic upgrades for completing them. That's cool. I like that. Well, that probably won't happen.
That is actually something they have done with World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Well, no, The War Within. Basically, the mount that you get for either the Heroic or Epic Edition, you get them out instantly, but there's also a quest line in-game. When you complete the quest line, you unlock some lightning effects. Overall, as far as I'm concerned, it's like, yeah, the mount comes with some dragon riding races,
like its own battle
and it's
pass.
actually kind of fun, so I don't really mind that. If you're going to sell a store mount, you may as well sell a good one. It's almost like the same...
Look at, bro, we've been boiled so much, man. It went from don't sell store mounts to, you know, we don't like store mounts, and to, you know, like, okay, I wish you didn't sell store mounts, to, if you're gonna sell a store mount, at least sell a good store mount. Like, fuck, man, this is so dumb. I'm so mad. I think I bought this.
Rule that goes on with some of those League of Legends skins.
I don't know.
It's like, if you're going to sell skins, and that's going to be the thing you do, you better make them a full retheme, new sounds, new animations, the whole shebang in the Christmas sync.
Yeah.
Also, an instant delivery of platinum, the in-game currency. Also, platinum per season. So basically just being drip fed.
I love how, like, there is, why is 2,000 platinum worth $80? Why? Because they made it up, that's why. If they said 2,000 platinum is worth $40, it would mean the same thing. I just love the value thing. It's like, and they've got to be fooling people with this, right? How is it this easy? I need to make one of these games.
This amount of platinum per season for that expansion. That's a
Why
very
isn't it worth
genius way of
$100?
trying to lock people in for more. Also,
Yeah.
some cosmetic wings. Now, this is where we learn a bit more about how these surveys are done, because you can see here in the $69.99 expansion, no hero skin, no mount, some platinum, no yearly platinum, wings.
I wish like one game would have like a bozo hat that you can buy, and the more money that you spend on the game, the larger the bozo hat is for you. I feel like the perfect game for this would be Lost Ark. But I worry if it was in Lost Ark, people would have bozo hats bigger than Vaulton.
4-day early access, a functional item, stash space,
like
and of course the base game being included, but a full year, 4-season accelerated battle pass of $100 value. And that's the way that they'll be trying to test all of these things against each other. So yeah, obviously battle pass is being included. Is it just one premium battle pass? Is it a full year premium battle pass? Is it a full year accelerated battle pass? Also, they're testing early access to the game, this case being...
I don't get how people care about this. Like, I really don't. Like, why do people give a fuck about a battle pass? Like, I've never given a fuck. I don't get it. Like, I'll do a battle pass if it has like a reward, but like, I just look at it as a quest. Like, I would never do a battle. Like, why would I do a battle pass just to get a cosmetic? Like, who cares? It's a money cosmetic. It's a money item. Like, what the fuck?
4 days. It's good at least that they're not thinking about doing 7 days. That's something that we recently saw with FIFA. Well, it's not FIFA 24. It's now EA Sports FC 24.
Oh, good.
Also, a companion, a non-player companion that accompanies you in-game, providing some conveniences and utility, such as access to your stash or gold pickups.
Hold up.
So, a companion, a non-player companion
that accompanies you in-game, providing some conveniences and utility, such as access to your stash or gold pickups. Click here to see an example. This is a link to a Lost Ark video. Wow. Convenience isn't pay to win? Yeah, it is. Of course it's pay to win. Let me explain how it's pay to win. You have 10 hours a day to play the game. If you can save 1 hour with convenience saving measures, you now have 11 hours to play the game. And now you have an advantage over somebody else who's spending the same amount of time in the game as you are. It's like, what? Well, how can you think that? Convenience is 100% pay to win. There is no difference. Pay for convenience and pay to win are functionally the same thing.
Companies you in-game, providing some conveniences and utility, such as access to your stash or gold pickups. Yeah, ouch. And the two options here are 1 season before launch and 1 season before launch. So that's weird. And
I'm not saying that all pay to win is equally bad either. There is some pay to win that's way worse than other pay to win. Like, for example, Marvel Snap. You can spend money and get the cards early, but you can also spend money and kill people in PvP in Diablo Immortal. One of them is obviously way worse than the other one.
Season before launch, does that mean like the final season of base G4? And also, this is selling convenience. Obviously this is something that they're looking into. It's an idea that they have. Why else would it be here on this survey? To that, I must say, I am a bit suspicious, but it gets worse. There's a temporal skin, that's totally fine. And early access to a functional item.
Early access to a functional item in-game, such as a unique piece of gear or a legendary aspect before it's released during the expansion? Now, this isn't pay for convenience at all, is it? Unless, it is pay for convenience because it's more convenient for me to win. Look at that. Bro, I got the new unique. I got it early. 3 days early access. Yes, somehow this is even worse.
Early access to a functional item in-game, such as a unique piece of gear or a legendary aspect before it's released during the expansion. So
that is crazy, by the way. Being able to get early access to a weapon or like a unique item, that is insane.
Of course, you can have uniques, which are some of the best gear in the game, and then legendary aspects, which
to be fair, a lot of uniques aren't that great. And I don't think this is like necessarily like game breaking, but keep in mind, it is now in Blizzard's best interest financially to make powerful uniques available only for early access. And it's more in their best interest to make the new uniques that are added through early access be powerful, because it would make sense, right? So like, think about it logically. If you could get Shaco early, the Harlequin Crest early, Well, a lot more people would pay for that than pay for frost boots that like leave the frost trail.
Major effects on your character. This is the idea that if you pre-order the expansion, which of course this, I mean, pre-orders like comes out in a year from now. So what would this be? You just get access to an aspect for a year earlier? Would this be access to an aspect for a season earlier? I don't know, but that is turbo scum that they're even thinking about it.
Turbo scum, I like that. That sounds good. Yeah, it's something like that. I would agree.
Also, stash space. Yeah, 1 or 2.
So for context, there was a guy in my chat before Diablo 4 came out. He said that they were going to add stash space for money. And I said, no, they won't. And he said, okay, bet. And I said, okay, if they add stash space for money, I will buy you every single item in the Diablo 4 store. I gave it a 6-month window, and we're at 5 months right now. I'm about to lose $500.
Stash tabs, and that, friends, does kind of, it extremely frustrates me, because this is core game functionality, and look, you can buy stash tabs in a game like...
It is core game functionality, and it provides a profit incentive to make inventory management harder to do in order to incentivize people to buy more stash tabs. Yes, that's exactly what it is. I would say it's player unfriendly, but it's not unfriendly, it's hostile.
Path of Exile, but it's free to play. No, in a game like D4, all game features are there for everybody, and it's only cosmetics. That's the only way you get to do this. If you start giving people stash space, yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind, whenever a PoE, Conquerors of the Atlas, these new games come out, the new expansions for PoE come out, they don't cost money. You want to play PoE right now, you can do it for free.
That is awful, especially when people are starving for more stash space and they want it in the form of an update. Now, I imagine, and to be very clear, the vast majority of developers on this game will not want this. They're probably ARPG players, and they probably know a scumbag move when they see them.
I agree with him. I do. I think that like a lot of the developers are dreading the conversation that they're going to have to add this into the game in order to meet some sort of metric or, you know, like sales goal. A lot of the developers don't really give a fuck about this kind of stuff. They don't want to have to deal with it. They just want to make the game. And also, like, it makes them look bad, right? Like, you know, now they can't talk about, like, think about it, like, they want to have the cool job of being the cool Diablo 4 dev. Imagine being a developer for just some shitty pay-to-win game. It's not as cool as being like you have two guys, you know, at a party.
Okay, so what is the $64,000 question? Holy cow, I'm gonna have to tough it up now. Here we go. What's the $64,000 question for the field? What is the most asked question that I've received this week? What the hell are we supposed to do about .NET, Steve? It's a very good question, and it's got a very, very clear answer. Developers. The key to .NET, the key to industry transformation, the key to success is developers, 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 developers.
One guy is a developer for what's a really shitty pay-to-win game? Diablo Immortal. And the other guy is a developer for Baldur's Gate 3 or Elden Ring. Who's getting more bitches? Well, they're probably both at 0. But if they were theoretically, who has more neckbeards coming up to them to say thank you for making a great game? Definitely the Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate guys.
Often it's the case of the people who actually communicate about the games you play and make the games that you play know exactly what's going on. Yes, it may suck for a community manager that they've got to toe the public line because it's literally their job, but I'm fairly sure, at least in most of the cases, that...
The community manager, there's actually there are a lot of community managers. You can actually, there's a way in Classic WoW, you can actually make community managers. I'll show you. So these are...
yeah, at least we went down having a chuckle. So, what happens when line goes down? Obviously, $60 bundles. Because what we're seeing in response to record-breakingly bad...
Nothing says microtransaction like $60.
...bad reviews and generally middling receptions is, in fact... that Modern Warfare 3 has apparently struggled with sales. Apparently. Here's the deal from Christopher Dring. UK physical data has caught Modern Warfare 3 launch sales being 25% lower than Modern Warfare 2. Ooh. 72% were on PS5, 20% on Xbox, and 8% on PS4. Obviously, digital data will change all this. Now, yes, the digital market generally is 70% of the user base, especially in PC and PlayStation, and the UK physical market is, of course, its own very distinct beast. But even with those caveats, obviously, 25% lower physical sales is that is past what
I think this is like what I said, right? With like it's a sample size. And like are more and more people buying like digital assets now than they were 3 years ago? No, I think if anything it'd be the opposite because of COVID, right? People would be less likely to buy a physical asset back then. So like in general, like if you take what I mean is like, so let's say you have an apple pie, you take a slice out of the apple pie. What's the slice? Well, it's still apple pie, right? So it's a sample. So if the sample size of the sales for physical copies is lower, you could reasonably imply that that sample is reflective of the entire game. It's just how it is. No one buys it, then why does it exist? There are people buying it, there's just less people buying it.
You would expect from the natural year-to-year adoption of digital, at least what we've seen in prior data. Now, Activision do not want profit to go down, because if line goes down, there will be problems. It'll be bad news for the suits, right? And when a line goes down, they've got to make it go back up. Now, those suits are now backed by Microsoft, who will be fairly keen to understand why has the number not went up, and they'll need to do something about it. Rather,
Isn't it crazy how, like, Overwatch doesn't have something like this? Like a zombie survival mode? It's so weird.
Realistically, though, this won't have a lasting impact unless this trend continues for years, and a Bloomberg analyst suggested it won't change Microsoft plans unless the drop in quality continues for multiple games. Because, as you're no doubt aware, this Modern Warfare 3 should not have been Modern Warfare 3. Basically, Sledgehammer wanted to do Advanced Warfare 2, probably a good thing they killed off Kevin Spacey in the first one, isn't it? Anyway, they wanted to do that, but they couldn't because, they had to basically jump in and do this game instead. Essentially, once again, Activision were up shit creek with their in-house development, and what was originally planned to be essentially a big, like, DLC that would bring all of Modern Warfare 2, the first one, to Modern Warfare 2, the second one, along with...
I personally, like... Am I the only person that thinks that it's like you don't really need a new Call of Duty every year? Maybe they're oversaturating the market. Like, because like, so like for FIFA, for example, right? You have like player trades. For NBA 2K, right? You've got player trades, different teams, different lineups, stuff like that, right? So it makes sense that you make a new one every year. But we don't have that with Call of Duty, right? It's not like they're using the latest tech from like, the military and like these guns a lot of times, right? It's basically the same stuff. So they're just repackaging the same content over and over. I think this is like a problem with their delivery.
the new campaign that was basically kind of scrapped, and it was turned into
it's just weird.
full, like an actual full premium release thingy, which is what this thing has ended up being. It's also why it basically looks completely cobbled together, but does have a sheer bulk to it because so many goddamn studios worked on it. Now, apparently, the zombies mode is actually being quite broadly well received by people. There's interesting things to go into there. But for right now, we've got to talk about money. And even if the number is down in baseline sales, there is an audience happy to step up and spend. The store carrying over then from Modern Warfare 2 smoothly into Modern Warfare 3, as I talked about last week in the show, that is something that is different to the past, because the way it would work is usually the game would come out, the season wouldn't have started, there would be one bundle that would be going to the Call of Duty charity for veterans, I believe, in the US and UK.
Great.
But instead, the store has smoothly rolled over, and good God, it has been absolutely full of microtransactions. Macrotransactions. It was all fairly expensive bundles. Bundles that really would target anything you would want. Do you like the X-Files? There's literally a bundle for that.
Spawn?
Do you like Diablo 4? You can play as Lilith. Do you like The Boy?
Like, personally, I think that's stupid. Like, I think it's too much to have, like, Lilith and Inarius and Homelander in Call of Duty. Like, I remember, like, oh, what's your, what was it? Who's your operator? Kevin Durant? What? What the fuck? Bro, it's Fortnite. Yeah, it's copying Fortnite. Yeah, but, like, Fortnite's a cartoon game. Like, maybe I'm not the audience, right? But I think it's too much.
There's Homelander to be. All very weird stuff. Now, this time we've had an interesting $60 skin that in fact comes in the form of a crossbody sling bag, because this is a sling bag that comes with the exclusive Royalty Tiger weapon camo. This is a weapon camo. Garish is putting it lightly. Look at this footage. I mean,
this looks like it used to be at the latest Bored Ape Yacht Club event. Yeah, it's like you got to get your eyes checked if you play the game with this all day.
I am sure, against the wishes of any artist who's
this is a sex toy in Cyberpunk.
Anywhere near this game, this has been implemented. So that's a funky little thing. And of course, it did immediately sell out. Now, taking a look at this crossbody bag, here's the deal. There can be brands, I don't know, like Air, Alpaca, ones like that, who I'm sure are maybe Peak Design, and I'm sure they're working on fairly healthy margins within their industry. But if this is something being done by Call of Duty, I have to imagine that this is basically a souped-up Wish.com dealio. Like, I'm sure it's not that bad, but I'm sure that this is pennies on the dollar, absolutely not worth $60.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, whatever it is, they've absolutely managed to sell out on it, and therefore basically give people this in-game reward that actually looks like a glitch more than an optional cosmetic.
I'm hearing multiple people in chat say that this was actually a glitch and it wasn't supposed to look this way. Yeah, I think that's good.
By the way, technically speaking, this thing is a camouflage. Maybe it's a camouflage if you're in a particularly fun nightclub. Anyway, I recently did cover D4's very pricey bundle. It was a combination of a horse skin and an armor skin, plus 7,800 platinum that cost $64.99. And
yeah, you don't get this horse unless you're a $64 owner. Yeah, this is a $60. This horse costs more than the game. A $65 owner? True.
Basically the way that worked, and it's why earlier on in the lead up in this
imagine only having $64
that the Platinum Store exists to make you think that bundles are a good value. Even look
they're actually doing the same thing with the Trader's Tinder in World of Warcraft. Because they introduced the Trader's Tinder into the game, they created a value point where the Trader's Tinder makes sense for a person to buy or not buy. So now people are like, okay, well, I want to do this because the Trader's Tinder is like worth this much to me in my mind. So if I can get 500 in the bundle, then the value of this cosmetic is even higher. The bundle is even higher, even if the cosmetic isn't higher. So yeah, this is what they're doing with WoW as well.
at it in a game like, say, Warcraft Rumble. You know, in Warcraft Rumble, buying your coins in the little store thing never makes sense.
Yeah.
If you were to buy money, you would have to wait for a timed bundle, and God knows when the timed bundle will come out, which means when they do show up, you better get on that deal right now. That's exactly what we see going on here. Exactly what we see. Because yes, this is a good deal. You're getting a horse skin and armor and 7,800 platinum for the price of 7,800 platinum. What an amazing deal. They're throwing in freebies. Just that. None of this is real. It's a fake economy made by monetization designers.
Thank you. Yes, it's all fake. The numbers don't matter, and it's made up. It's all made up. The whole thing is made up. What is the trend? What is the conversion rate from 7,800 platinum to Shroot Bucks and to HEB Buddy tickets? And what is the conversion from that to Chuck E. Cheese tickets? Like, because like we've really got to figure out what these numbers are. Stanley Nichols, yeah. How much is this really? Jesus.
We're at Blizzard, and let's be real, it's pretty damn expensive. There's a concept called price anchoring. This is just price anchoring at work. We also see this in Overwatch. Now, Overwatch is fairly interesting. Do you remember the $40 bundle that came out with Invasion? And we thought, oh, yeah, I suppose they're doing that because Invasion's a pretty big thing with all that PvE content.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new season that's came out for Overwatch 2. And hey, look, Overwatch 2, honestly, I still have to say, as a video game, I love it. Feels good.
Overwatch feels like a great game in a lot of ways. I think people
in Overwatch. Now, Overwatch is fairly interesting. Do you remember the $40 bundle that came out with Invasion? And we thought, oh, yeah, I suppose they're doing that because Invasion's a pretty big thing with all that PvE content.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new season that's came out for Overwatch 2. And hey, look, Overwatch 2, honestly, I still have to say, as a video game, I love it. Feels good.
Overwatch feels like a great game in a lot of ways. I think people's frustration with Overwatch is because Blizzard isn't capitalizing on what everybody sees as an incredible game. Like, that, we're not, like, personally, right? I don't know, I want to say we, but like, I'm not frustrated that about Overwatch as a game. I'm frustrated that it's not what I think it could be. I think Overwatch has some of the most iconic and great characters like that have ever been made. If you disagree with me, well, then you haven't been on a lot of websites. I mean, those characters wouldn't be that popular if there wasn't something extremely appealing about them. They're great. They are amazing. Like, the characters are great. The way they do storytelling is great. The world they made is great. The gameplay is great. Overwatch is such a great game. And it's just sad that like, where's the like, why don't they, why is it that everybody knows this except Blizzard? You know what I mean? Like, it's everybody knows Overwatch has so much potential except for Blizzard.
As a product, oh boy, a little bit less good as a product, isn't it? So, somehow they've managed to still do a $40 bundle, even though it's not coming with a bunch of PvE content. And that's because there is the $40 Diablo crossover bundle.
That would be, dude, imagine, man. I would go back and play Overwatch if I could get the Butcher Roadhog skin. I would unironically come back to the game and play it again. I could. I can. But, like, do you get it through gameplay or do you get it with money? Well, that's what I mean, right? Both? It doesn't matter. Like, am I the only person here that, like, anything that you can achieve in the game with money is meaningless? Like, I don't care about anything that you get in the game. Like, somebody has, like, a really expensive, like, Spectral Tiger, right? It's, like, $5,000. Who cares? You just bought it. Like, okay, wow, you spent money. Gotcha enjoyers? Yeah. I mean, like, and it's, like, it's nice to have the characters, but, like, I don't really care, if that makes sense. I just have a totally different perspective on it.
over bundle. Basically, the premium big Battle Pass bundle was the
boxes,
only
you can
way
get
to
by
get
buying them?
Inarius
Oh, I
and
think they should
Lilith.
add them
And
back.
the hilarious thing about it, right?
Just don't let people buy
hilarious
them.
thing about it. They actually admitted that there was negative pushback to this. They did Aaron Keller did in a blog post that he did. It was like, we acknowledge your feelings.
Yeah.
Brackets, no changes planned at this time.
Yeah.
Which obviously, hey, look, even if he wanted to do that change, there is no realistic way that he would have been able to as game director, I believe. Because at the end of the day, a game director's job partially is going to be fighting for budgets and that kind of thing. And this
right.
is, of the take rates of any skin, one that lets you be Lilith in, I mean, look, Overwatch.
Dude, they probably had so many people that bought that skin. Tons of people probably bought the skin. Like that Inarius Farah skin was awesome. It's so cool. I love it. Of course people would buy this. Again, the Spectral Steed sold more and made more money than StarCraft II Wings of Liberty. This is a very upsetting reality that we live in. And it's like, if you're running the company, like, of course you're going to do something like that. Especially, this is like a massive publicly traded company. There's like so much, of course they're going to do that.
Community, it rhymes with Lorny or Morny, and it begins with a H. You've seen the sort of art people make about Overwatch. It's the Overwatch community. So if you say that they can pay $40 to become the Blessed Mother, obviously going to pay. If they revert that,
100%.
what do? Do they give people, oh, sorry, we're reverting this, we've changed the business model? They're not going to refund people. That's just giving away probably millions of dollars. I mean, hey, do you remember? Oh, your man who worked at probably millions of dollars. I mean, hey, do you remember? Oh, your man.
You see the cut there? Bro, he popped off so hard, they just had to cut it off. Did you see the cut? Hey, and another thing! He's about to reveal his true power level.
Man who worked at Blizzard, I've forgotten his name, but we covered how, at least at one point, the Sparkle Pony in World of Warcraft, I've forgotten its name.
Good point.
I mean, I remember what Total Biscuit called it, but what was it called?
That retarded
The
horse.
Celestial Steed. That, like, made more money than StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. And you think about it, you're like, Wings of Liberty selling, was that $39.99 USD?
I think it was more. I think it was $50.
PC games weren't as expensive as console. Okay, but at that point in time, they had 12 million World of Warcraft players. Yeah. And this was the first time you could do one of those purchases, for the $15 store amount. So, kind of sad. But yeah, say as both a fan of Warcraft and StarCraft. Anyhow, they did that $40 thing, and then immediately after that, they have the $50 Le Seraphim? It's K-pop. I don't know K-pop, but it's $50. Where, of course, it's very exclusive nature, alongside, of course, licensing costs will have boosted that cost quite a bit. Now, that's an interesting thing. Tim Sweeney recently spoke of how Fortnite has been able to change its story in terms of its actual revenue. However, its positive revenue increases in its recent resurgence, those, the game is doing way better, but those have been partially offset because their increases in revenue have been in large part down to creator partnerships, which of course have worse unit economics because someone else is getting a slice of that pie. So obviously Activision Blizzard King are far from the only publisher who are trying to work out how...
The other big difference is that Fortnite doesn't have an existing universe and narrative in the same way that Overwatch does. So you can add Kratos and the Terminator fighting next to each other, and it doesn't matter because it's not immersion breaking in the same way. Like, you can't compare these two things. And it's already a cartoon universe. They did, but it doesn't, though. Like, I didn't say it. Did I say that it doesn't have any? No, I didn't. I said it doesn't have it like Overwatch. And it doesn't have it like Overwatch. It's not the same fucking thing.
To get more of these premium bundles off to people. Obviously, then you have a situation where Blizzard have got to try to justify their purchasing options, and they've even got to do that even in times where their purchase options seem to be hurting the game rather than help them. And that brings me back to my traditional stomping ground, World of Warcraft, that, listen, as a game, as a value proposition, is essentially better than it has been in years. Stuff's really looking...
Bellior is right about this. The World of Warcraft value proposition right now is extremely high. You get Classic WoW, you get Wrath of the Lich King, you get Dragonflight, you can play all of those games. It is the highest value proposition that we have ever had for WoW.
on the up, actually. I mean, it was crazy. Even just seeing like Preach's reaction to BlizzCon, you're like, oh my
and
god.
Hardcore. Yeah, Cataclysm.
Happy boy. The latest tinkering they've done in WoW is fairly interesting. In a way, actually, War Within is better value than Dragonflight, because War Within is... Some people have said that War Within is more expensive than Dragonflight. That is literally false. All the War Within tiers cost the exact same as the Dragonflight tiers, and the max level character boost comes with the cheapest edition of War Within, whereas it did not come the cheapest edition of Dragonflight. It only came in the heroic version. But there's also 4 days early access, meaning that if you want a true launch day, tough luck, you do have to buy the most expensive edition. Anyhow, the reason...
I just, like... What he's saying is definitely true, but... Like, I think this stuff's super cringe. Like, I do. I really do. I hate this stuff. Like, the 3-day early access...
thing they've done is interesting, because in a way it is also combating some botting. It won't matter too much in terms of player experience, but basically you will need to have purchased your subscription with real money at some point in order to basically buy
this. People were really upset about this, about like you couldn't buy tokens indefinitely. They asked you to spend $15 one time between now and 2017. It was a completely reasonable request, and it was just a small thing to combat botting. It really wasn't a big deal.
Get it via in-game gold with WoW token, and this is being done in an effort to clamp down on botting and that kind of thing. So for people playing the game legitimately, shouldn't really be a problem. Of course, the question then is, how much will this dissuade bot networks? Will this just mean that all the bot networks are giving Blizz, their $15 for like 1 month before they then transition over to using like exploited gold to cover their subscription fees? Hard to say exactly, but that essentially is it is where we are at. World of Warcraft having a subscription fee certainly does insulate it from quite...
Somebody says in chat, they say, it's funny to me how classic players yell they don't want WoW token in the game, but RMT is rampant in the game, especially now. Like, am I the only person that feels like it's a totally different dynamic? Like, whenever you have the game that's directly selling gold versus gold being something that you can buy. Like, I think it's like it's literally like totally different to me. Like, yeah, it's like literally like game sanctioned gold buying versus gold buying with the risk of losing your account. Even if it's a low risk, it still exists, right? So like, yeah, I just personally, I think that if you can buy gold and the developer sanctions it, so it's the same, but it's not though, right? Because you can get banned for buying gold, and people do get banned for buying gold. So no, it's not. They do? Yeah, they do. Like, and in my mind also, like, it's also like in a way, right? Like, some people say they don't. I know they do, right? I've seen people get banned. But the point is that it's also symbolic in a way. It's like the developer announces that they're giving up. They're announcing, like, we don't care about the integrity of this game anymore. Have at it.
A lot of this bullshit. Personally speaking, it's like you can have two things. You either have a sub fee and a complete game experience, and yes, WoW is monetized via WoW token, and there are store amounts.
It sure is.
The Trader's Tender thing. The Trader's Tender thing, I'm angry about. Not to make any excuses for them. What I'm using as my point of comparison here is just how unbelievably screwy Destiny 2 is. Because, like, basically, if you want character cosmetics, pony up the money. I would rather have an a la carte experience, thank you very much. And that is why any increases in aggression with the Trader's Tender store in WoW will certainly be met by my protracted anger. Anyway, that is the story for today. A fairly interesting one with that D4 survey. Look, these surveys, they are indicative of market research, but what happens before monetization decisions are made and somebody asks you to pony up your money? Market research. So even though this is market research and not confirmed...
look, there wasn't a question on there about letting people buy a level 100 character for $50. There wasn't a question on there about adding a dick slider into the game. There wasn't a question on there about letting people buy a Lamborghini in Diablo 4 and run over all of the mobs in Nightmare Dungeons. So that means that inside of the spectrum of acceptable and not acceptable, there are some things that are not acceptable, which implies that the things that you are seeing on that survey are breaking that fucking, that line of completely unacceptable. Do you see what my point is? That there are some things that you would never see on a survey and some things that you do see on a survey. And the fact that you're seeing it on a survey means that it might be farther along on the spectrum than you might imagine. Confused by the analogy? The analogy is that there are incredibly ridiculous, crazy things that would never be on a survey. So, in proportion, this is not incredibly ridiculous or crazy by the nature of the fact that it was included on the survey. Because we can all make a list of things that would never be included on the survey, right? So that implies that there is a decision-making process of what things are realistic and which ones are not. And it implies also that Blizzard putting these things on the survey has considered them.
Announced plans, it shows what they're thinking, it shows what they're researching, and we should make it quite clear then that we know that the things in this survey, that they go against what their global director, or whatever her title was, of public relations, promised to the Washington Post, I believe, in 2022. Don't lie. Simple. And with that said, thanks for watching. If you want to support the show, of course, check out our sponsor, and if you do choose to do that, be sure to use our tracking link down below to let them know that we sent you. That's it from me. I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Somebody says it's completely incorrect. In general statistics, they regularly add
This video is sponsored by AnyDesk.
You ever wake up in the morning and ask yourself,
what happens when you wire 100 car batteries in parallel?
If so, you're in luck because that's exactly what I'll be doing today.
By wiring all these in parallel, the voltage is going to be the same as a single battery, which is just a bit over 12 volts.
How you going? How you going? Now I've got some pretty dodgy stuff in my garage, but there's one tool I use that always scares me the most.
Sorry mate, got a...
This can opener, or more commonly known as the mud crab. And I've heard some wacky stories about their strength. Like this one fisherman who told me that a mud crab cut off his whole body from his finger. So today, I'm going to put mud crabs to the ultimate strength test and see if they really can cut off a human finger.
Oh, whoa! My God! Oh, my fuck!
Okay, I want to test out the mud crab's strength in 3 ways. First, I want to know how much a mud crab can lift and modify one of those strength grippers all the gym boys use and compare them to a mud crab's claw. Then, I want to make some replica fingers made out of ballistic gel with bones inside and put them in the claws to see what happens. And then, if it doesn't look that bad, I'll stick my own finger inside. Or, if it does look bad, I'll stick my mate's finger inside.
Hey Alexa, I made something for you.
So I'm going to start with making the delicious gelatin fingers. And to do that, I'm going to use this stuff called alginate to take a mold. And you might have seen or had this stuff used on you before when you go to the dentist and they take a mold of your finger. And that's what I'm going to do. So I precisely measured the powder and then mixed it with water until it changed colour and poured it in a little cup before sticking in my finger.
So I want it to go the same colour as that. In the moment of truth, can I get my finger out? Nice.
Now, I'm not sure why that was such a stressful experience, but the set rate and amount of water I needed to put in changed every time I did it. But they seem to have worked and all the molds are dry. So next, I took the wings off some chickens and then deboned them.
You can buy boneless chicken. Could I have just bought chickenless bones?
And I think that chicken bones are pretty similar to the thickness of my finger bones. But then again, I've never pulled the meat off my bones, so I don't really know. Now, last time I made these fingers, I did an 8% gelatin to water mixture, which didn't hold together too well. But this time, I'm going to follow a professional cookbook, which recommends that for a stronger flesh to do a 20% gelatin to water ratio, which should increase the bounciness and resilience of the gelatin, making it more similar to a human finger that has a chicken bone inside of it. It also recommends I shouldn't use horse gelatin, but instead use Mackenzie's gelatin, which is made, presumably, from Mackenzie. Okay, I started mixing it all, making sure to inhale as many gelatin spores as possible.
That's good stuff.
And this got real thick quick, and reminds me of the texture of cum. So once it was all mixed up, I poured it into the finger mold, and then poked in the chicken bones, and put it in the fridge for 8 hours to set. Which means I've got some time to kill. Speaking of which, I've also really been into a new mobile game, which is the sponsor of today's video, Watcher of Realms. It is an awesome next-gen fantasy RPG which has high quality. I will wait for you in the continent tier.
Download Watcher of Realms for free now.
Okay, back to the mud crab fingering. And now I'm going to make the claw testing scales. And to do that, I just borrowed these grip strength scales from my mate that does roids. And to give you some reference on how strong the mud crabs are, and not because I want to show off at all, here's my hand strength. With my right, I pulled 89 kilos or 200 pounds for the Americans. With my left, I pulled 80 kilos or Wo La Le Bao Shi Ju Gong Jing for the Chinese, and 30 kilos with my cheeks. So I really hope that the mud crabs are at least as strong as my cheeks. Okay, now to modify the scale. First, I just hit this metal bar with a hammer until it gave up and bent, then drilled holes in it and screwed it in. And that's done. And hopefully this gap is now small enough to fit inside the claws of the crab. And I'm very excited to get a digital number telling me how much claw force crabs actually have, as all the numbers on the internet seem way too high, with some scientists saying they have 700 pounds of crushing force. But that doesn't seem to make sense considering how small their claws are. But then again, it might be true, as people have even done theses on this topic filled with diagrams. And this guy even went as far as jacking off a crab to find out the answer. Okay, that seemed around 8 hours. So I took the molds out of my fridge, and also the fingers, and then cracked them open.
That is good, look at that. They're so good. Oh, my fingernail's disgusting. I don't know if you can see the details properly in that, but that is... Look at it. Look at that.
And these look disgusting. Exactly the same as my real fingers. Now I might look rushed during all of this, and that's because I am, and I'm unboxing stupid gelatin fingers at 2 AM at night when I have a flight the next morning at 5 AM to Queensland. And I'm going there to meet an Aussie legend and YouTuber named Willem Powerfish, who's going to hook me up with some big crabs. Because as far as I'm aware, there just aren't any muddies in Sydney, besides Carl in my toolbox. Now, Willem is a strange bloke who does fishing pranks and causes trouble at the boat ramp, but his most infamous videos are probably where he walks around a construction site paying tradies to put mud crabs on their face. So he's the perfect man for this video. If I can get all my fingers through airport security, which I'm now realizing might be an issue. But after a nervous 30 minutes, I got through. And I really wish I got video footage of the confusion on the X-ray operator's face when he was trying to figure out what the 6-finger and vibrator-shaped objects were in my bag.
They stopped and they looked at it and they zoomed in, and then she looked at it and then she just licked her lips like she saw that chicken, like she saw chicken bones, and then just continued and slept through.
But I got through with almost all my fingers intact.
This is
So what's this?
little ballistic finger.
Hang on, is there chicken in there?
It's a chicken bone.
What?
So it was the closest bone I could find to the same thickness of a
What do you make this out of?
gelatin.
Can you eat it?
You could eat that.
Really?
You can have a nibble of one if you want.
Alright, now I thought Willem would have some mud crabs ready to go for us, but it turns out we need to catch him, and luckily he knows a great secret muddy hole hidden away in the mangroves. Only problem was that we had to get across this old falling apart bridge.
Nah, we're not going in. We'll make it.
Oh, it's not that bad. I'm so with heights.
Oh, heights?
Scares. It's not high, but I'm just a massive baby.
Oh, it is quite rough. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't cut yourself.
You're doing well. We've only got this and then the rest of the bridge to go. No, the rest of the bridge is easier. Carry all this stuff in, we don't even know if we're going to catch mud crabs or not.
I mean, like, how are you going to come back across with crabs?
And after getting rust cuts on almost every one of my toes, we made it across to the other side, and then headed our separate ways into the mangroves until one of us found a crab.
It is so f***ing deep.
Yeah, is there such a thing as quick mud? Can you die in this?
Which surprisingly only took a couple of minutes before Willem found our first one hiding in a hole under this pipe.
I'm going to sleep in here.
Is it comfortable?
It's actually really comfy.
No wonder there are all these crabs here.
To get the mud crab, become the mud crab.
Oh.
Whoa. Oh, he's ready for you. He sees you.
Alright, so we've definitely found a mud crab.
Look at his eyes.
Look at him.
Oh, he's blowing little bubbles.
Oh, it's in front of my camera.
Oh.
He's trying to dig.
Is he trying to dig?
I think he's trying to get away, yeah.
Should I use the shovel or get my hands in there?
Use your hands. Like, maybe are you blocking your view?
I am blocking. I'll come over where you are.
Can I join you in the mud?
This is your chance to escape, crab, while he's not watching.
He's actually trying right now. He's getting deeper. So,
oh,
yeah,
whoa, he's so deep.
Yeah, he's getting deep. Alright, you're gonna have to come in from behind.
Oh!
Ooh.
Wait, that's it. What the?
Just grab the back legs.
You got him?
Oh, don't lose him.
Oh, he's slipping towards me. He's slipping towards me. Can I go like that? Yeah. That's working. All right. Hell, he's massive. Oh, look at his eyes. Oh, whoa! Yeah. Big boy.
That's a horse. That's a big buck. They call them bucks. Yeah, big buck. You're shaking. You all right?
Yeah. Perfectly fine. This is probably one of the scariest animals I've ever touched.
Yeah, they look scary as well, and I think just the pounds of pressure that these claws hold is just phenomenal, man. Like,
well, if you look at that compared to the rest of its body, just look how much meat is in there.
Yeah, that's the best bit.
So much muscle.
Let's get out of this mud.
Do we need any more? I think this is pretty much enough for science, right?
Yeah, I think this is enough for science.
Yeah, like we could bag out if we wanted. You know?
Easy.
Like I reckon there's easily another 800 just in here.
Well, that's all of these air bubbles is actually a crab.
It's a crab. All right. Well.
Yeah, that'll be enough.
Yeah, no, we don't want to be greedy though.
It's like a day spa.
Oh, look at these crabs on my foot.
Little crabs.
Oh. Yeah, because you're probably just taking their mother.
That's right. Get off her. Can you even get up?
No. Yeah, put him down. I'll grab him.
Beautiful.
I'll clean him up.
Holy
I'm actually currently stuck, eh?
There was something sharp.
Oh.
Don't stand there.
Did you bring a change of clothes?
Nah. I didn't know. I thought they were just like, you just catch them in like the sand or something. I mean, mud crabs. That makes sense.
So I have to get back on a plane. Look at my legs.
And this is way bigger than any mud crab I was expecting to find. It was also surprisingly calm, considering that a random bloke had his fingers on his arse cheeks. But maybe that's what mud crabs like. But it could also be the cold temperature, which is a bad thing, which means they might be really chilled out and not willing to squeeze as hard as they can. And one crab is enough for the test. But on the way back to our stuff, we stumbled upon one just sitting underneath this log.
I reckon that's safe to say that's a mud crab. Well, there. He's big. He's big.
That's it.
You got it?
Oh my god.
Oh!
Yes.
Whoa!
That is fucking amazing.
That is so big. Dude, he's
massive.
Holy shit.
And lucky for us, the second mud crab we found was a little more angry.
Hey!
Man, it really sucks having a big cock.
So the first thing I wanted to test was their grip strength, and I'm hoping they get at least 50 kilos.
You reckon they'll fit in there?
Yes.
Okay, let's just see it's working.
So we just need something to tickle the hair. Might use.
You run out of battery on this thing.
No, okay. And try to tickle his hairs.
Oh, he's grabbing.
He's not biting.
Oh, it's going down.
Oh.
10 kilograms,
Whoa,
12.
15.
And I feel like crabs have more than 15 kilos in them, so we tried the bigger guy.
Oh, he's got it. Whoa! 30 Ks. 30 kilograms.
30.5.
In like a second.
Yeah, it's interesting. When it hits 30, it stops immediately.
Yeah, he just like chills out
and then it stops.
And 31 kilos or 70 pounds is not bad, especially considering that the crab only weighs 1.5 kilos, so it's 20 times their body weight. That's the same as me squeezing 1,800 kilos or Yishin Bai Bai Gong Jing with just 2 fingers. And I did want to see a higher number, but maybe it's because the crabs could tell that they weren't grabbing onto an actual threat, so they didn't want to squeeze as hard as they could. So I decided to move on to the ballistic fingers to see what damage they would do, but first had to get the crabs to let go of the scale.
He's strong, eh?
Literally, I'm pulling as hard as I can and I cannot get that
And
open.
you're very strong.
I'm a very strong man, thank you. Oh, there we go. Something?
Is he opening?
No, that was my pliers slipping.
Your pliers just break. Well, you reckon he'll crack this bone?
Oh, yeah, he's
pissed off.
This one's...
All right, should I give him? Give him a finger?
Do you want to get him out to get a clearer shot?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fast.
Yeah, he's getting psycho.
How do you even grab him?
Come on. Oh.
So he's biting down?
He's biting down.
Going for it?
Oh wait, has he gone all the? He's gone all
No,
the
he's
way.
touching. He's gone all the way
on
through.
tradies fingers.
Oh
Does
my
this, does this
god!
happen?
You never do the finger.
That'll happen.
That'll happen.
And the ballistic gel isn't holding up very well, and the crab managed to get through the flesh and down to the bone in a second. Then, just like a real finger, the flesh nicely degloved.
Oh my god!
What did he? Well, he's degloved.
And I reckon this flesh isn't accurate, as the crabs seem to slice through this like butter.
Oh, look at that.
It would be a good narrative.
He just chopped through it like butter, man. Watch this. Watch this.
That's
That doesn't make any sense.
But the bones are real at least, so we tried another one in the hope that we could get it to snap the bone.
There we go. Let go.
No, he's trying to eat it.
Oh, he was. So if we go over to this guy. I want to shoot. Hey!
Oh, whoa, whoa. That was.
Hey!
He's playing dumb.
Jesus, man. Boy, this one's
He's back
psycho.
alive, or should we give him another finger? Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's tight. He's
Yeah,
locked
he's-
onto this. He's locked onto the
Oh, he's going for another one.
Look at this. Going for the pliers, man. I can't get the pliers out. There we go.
I mean, he completely ripped the. Oh, yep. Oh, no, I heard the snap.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That was loud. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my god. What the f? Well, get away from him. He's going to try to get
He
your other
snapped
finger.
that.
And even though I do want this to be true, I don't think these bones are as strong as real finger bones. Also, most annoyingly, the crabs still seem to know that these aren't real fingers and don't seem to be clenching that hard. They are too focused on trying to nip us. So, after a group discussion, we decided that one of us had to put their finger in.
Just the palm. Do here. That's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go across there.
How do you reckon we get him to let go? Just wait.
Pliers.
The palm open.
And now, I just had to pick which crab I would like to get mutilated by.
He's got the nicer claw there. I feel like. I'm worried about the curve on that one. No, the thing is though, I don't know why I'm looking. There's no nice option.
Exactly.
Yeah, try to find the best crab to bite you.
Look, I've had many people attacked by these and watched a lot of people in a lot of pain. And I think your best option is just get in there and then get out. In and out. Shake his hand. Introduce yourself. And because if he likes you, he'll let go.
I just say, hello, my name is Alex.
That's it.
Stand straight in there.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what hand you shake to him. It doesn't matter. So
Well, the thing is, when I put my hand, this other claw's coming back around
yeah,
there.
because they usually, well, it's a custom for them as well. They
Just
like
like
double
two
hand
hands,
shakes.
double hand shakes. You know,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
So I'll hold him. You come in there, stick and shake his hand.
Straight there. I might hold this one so I can.
Oh, you want to do this one?
Yeah.
I was going to hold this one.
You're gonna hold that one?
Yeah, I'll hold this.
Oh,
I'm telling you now, the smaller ones hurt than more than the bigger. Yeah. Hi, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you.
You recording?
Yeah. Got this.
Hi, I'm Alex. Hi, I'm Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex. I can't do it.
Oh, you were so close.
You were there.
I saw it happening.
It's gonna.
Come on.
No, I'll just film Alex's face.
Come on.
And you film down there.
Come on. You can do it.
Oh my.
Just do it.
It looks like a devil on your shoulder. He's dressed so ridiculously.
Do it. Do it.
Oh.
Go. In there. Just put it in. Put it in and close your eyes.
Like, you have the pliers handy to.
No. Oh yeah, there it is. No, they're in there. That's alright.
I'll do it if you do it.
I'll do it if you do it. If you do it, I'll do it.
Why is this so hard?
I'll do it.
Why the hard? I've done so much dumber.
Well, there you go. This is nothing.
Done.
Okay, you ready? Say the line and hold your hand there, because I'll put it straight on. Say the line. Get your hand out.
Now, I tried for probably an hour to put my hand in the mud crab's claw, but I just couldn't do it.
If you put your cock in there, if you put your cock in there, I'll put my hand in there. I think that's it.
If you do it, I'll do it. Say the line and hold your hand there, because I'll put it straight on. Say the line. Get your hand out.
They're leaving us here in the mangroves if you don't do it.
Will you do it?
Gotta say the line.
Hi, Mr. Crab. I'm Alexa. It's nice to meet you. Oh.
Let the crab go.
No, he's gonna go. He's gonna get me with the other one. Don't let him go. Don't let him go.
Let the crab go, Alex.
Don't let him. Oh, he's fuck.
Okay, you gotta tell us.
Someone get it off.
Hang on, you gotta.
No.
You gotta tell us how much pain do you put out of 10? What is
It's the worst handshake I've ever had. It's the. He gets angry. Don't move the other hand, because the more you move that one, the more this one goes.
All right, but if I let go of this hand.
All right, so basically.
No, don't give me another. Okay, now that's bad. He's pitching real hard now.
I'm not gonna give you this one. Let go.
No, you are.
I promise
Just take it off.
I promise
I'm holding him. It's fine.
Okay, so what we want to do is.
That actually pains.
Hang on.
No, don't take it off. Don't take it off. No.
Should I get something in and start?
Just no, please. No, it's actually.
Okay,
I've done it. Get the pliers. This is.
Okay, here's the pliers. You put this in
It's
there.
getting worse and worse.
Just make sure you hold this guy.
Numb.
Okay, we got a problem.
No, it's good. He was releasing a little bit.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
It's good. We're almost there. I have to go back across the bridge.
Put him down.
No,
that's how he'll release.
But then the other hand might grab you.
Put him down.
Just watch pitching so much harder.
No, he'll let go.
No.
Just keep a
No.
hand on that.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
No.
Just try it again. Try it again.
Should we? Yeah, let's get that in there.
Try it again. Look at that angle. Oh, he's so deep in me, motherfucker. Oh, he's up. Oh. Here. I'm stuck with this. Oh.
Yeah.
Go?
Yeah, slowly. Get
Get out of there.
This is the worst bit. Man.
Can I try pull as well?
No.
Did you let go?
Oh!
Come on, get
him off!
Oh, me, dude. It didn't even break the skin. That's so good.
So there you go. It turns out mud crabs can't cut off your finger. And they probably have enough strength through it, but their claws are designed to pinch and grab, not cut.
I cannot believe after all that, you're more scared of the bridge.
This is much worse.
Also, it turns out Alexa's pain wasn't necessary, as Willem already has a couple of videos doing exactly this. Like this one, where this tradie puts 2 mud crabs on a single finger and didn't get any real injuries. But that's not to say there can't be serious injuries, and Willem waited until after Alexa put the crab on his hand to tell me this, but it turns out some people that have been bit by mud crabs have lost limbs. And not from the force of the claws, but from infection. And I don't know why we didn't think of this, as obviously if you dig something out of this disgusting primordial soup and then let it stab through your skin, you're going to get all sorts of crazy bacteria into your body, like Vibrio vulnificus, which has caused many amputations and even killed people. But luckily Alexa doesn't know this, and I'm not going to tell him. I'll just make a video if he dies. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please check out some of my other videos. How you going? I've had this Beyblade sitting in my garage for 2 years now, and I just can't bring myself to throw it away. Mostly because it doesn't fit in my bin, and I don't want the garbage man to judge me. So, my solution is to do the most amount of engineering I've ever done and get this thing spinning at almost the speed of sound. So fast that it blows itself apart and everything else around it. And that way, I don't have to throw it away. And if you watched my 2 previous videos in this Beyblade series, you'll know that I hyped it up a lot, but it was actually pretty crap. It didn't go very fast, and I also made it too good, and the Beyblade was very stable, so it didn't move around and destroy enough things. But it turns out there is a pretty easy fix to the stability. I just need to introduce some instability into the Beyblade's life with an opioid addiction, and by also cutting off its leg so it's flat, which makes it walk around more. Okay, now to make it spin faster. And last time I was using a chainsaw winch thing, which worked, but only got it up to like 360 RPM, and I want it to go a lot faster. Like fast enough that the UN is forced to get involved and put sanctions on my house.
I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction very seriously. I remember the fact that he has invaded 2 countries before. I know for a fact that he's poisoned his own people.
So how am I going to get it spinning that fast? Well, if we do some basic maths, this motor spins at 2000 RPM, and if we have a 2-to-1 pulley conversion on it, it will spin at 4000 RPM. So if the Beyblade is 92 centimeters wide, at 4000 RPM, the tips of the Beyblade will be traveling at around 700 kilometers per hour. And if we do some more maths, considering Princess Diana hit that bridge at 100 kilometers per hour, which made news all around the world, 700 kilometers per hour is enough to kill 7 princesses. So it should be pretty impressive at that speed. But before I make the news, I just need to figure out how to attach this motor to the Beyblade, but more importantly, how to get it off. And considering the best thing I could come up with before was a pair of vice grips that released the Beyblade with a piece of string, I'm gonna get someone else to help. Come in. Hey, how you going? My mate, who has a channel called Not an Engineer, but despite the name, is a much better engineer than me. And he also knows how to draw parts on the computer, much better than I do. And he drew up this cool sketch for us to follow. Now, the first thing we decided to do was take apart the Beyblade. And when I was making this, I definitely compensated for my lack of mechanical skills by using a whole bottle of glue on this thread, and it's now impossible to take apart. So we decided to deal with it later, and instead started boring down this pipe, which will hold the bearings and shaft that spins the Beyblade. And by we, I mean my mate, but first he had to fix my lathe.
This one doesn't even have its little washer. It's not attached. Look.
Alright, so that explains why I was making a funny noise. Alright. And you know what else needs fixing? Your browser. Which is why you need to start using Opera GX, the sponsor of today's video. Thanks to Grade Your Browser. And while he was doing that, I did the more complicated parts that require expertise, like tapping these holes and hitting the Beyblade with a hammer. Okay, I managed to get the Beyblade apart with minimal effort, and my mate had finished boring the bearing holes so that the bearings fit neatly inside. And there is nothing more satisfying than watching a bearing fit perfectly into a hole. And I'm not even saying this in a sexual way. It's just a great feeling, absolutely beautiful. Because if it's slightly wrong, the bearing won't move at all. But when it's right, it slides perfectly in. And then before you know it, you and your mate are making love. Okay, then my mate started turning down the shaft that was going to go inside the bearings, while I made the piece that's going to grip and release the Beyblade. And to do that, I'm going to use these little ball bearings, which I stole from your washing machine while you were sleeping. So you should probably get that looked at. And the bearings go inside this piece and will grab the top of the Beyblade in the same way as a collet chuck on a mill. And if you don't know how a collet chuck works, neither do I, so you're asking the wrong guy. Next, I drilled 4 holes which are big enough to fit the balls all the way in, but not let them out on the inside of the pipe. Except for this hole, which I made too big. Then I just cut down this threaded rod and welded it onto the piece with the balls.
Can't see what I'm doing, and I just welded the clamp to the piece.
Which is me done. And in the same time it took me to make this, my mate had finished the entire spinny shaft thing, which I then welded onto a bracket. And then we put it all together. And it spins slowly, but what we really want to know is, does it spin fast enough to cause grievous bodily harm?
You ready? You ready? That was alright. That's alright. That's not bad. You won't do that with the Beyblade.
Yeah, no.
And that was the maximum speed, which seemed fast, but you can't really tell without the Beyblade on the bottom, which is what we're going to do now. So next I welded up a frame for the motor and arm that hold the Beyblade. And this is all guesswork here, which is why I decided to weld it all permanently in place before checking if the motor even fits onto the frame. Which luckily it does, and the spindle as well. Okay, so then we finished off the Beyblade by drilling a hole in the center so a bolt threads inside. And then tested if the Beyblade fits.
Am I pushing it all the way?
Yeah.
Which it does.
Kind of just looks like a lawnmower or something.
A little bit.
And we couldn't resist spinning it up in my garage.
Yep. Oh.
Okay.
It's already wobbly. It's quite wobbly.
That's not the shaft though, is it?
No, I think it's the Beyblade. You got it up.
Do you want to go a bit faster?
Yeah.
Can you go? Or I'll go a little bit
Yeah,
further.
you go with it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pull it out.
Oh my.
And that was only 5% of its maximum speed, but was already terrifying enough to kick in my fight or flight response and make me use my mate as a human shield. So I can't imagine what I'm going to do to the people around me when the Beyblade is going at full speed. Okay, last thing we have to do is make something that is going to hit this pin off the top to release the internal pipe, which means those little balls inside will be able to slip out of the way, releasing the Beyblade. And I was all for just poking it using a big stick, but my mate suggested we use the VFD, which we are using to control the speed of the motor, as it has some inbuilt switches that trigger when the motor reaches a certain speed, which we can plug this solenoid into. So I just welded the solenoid to some metal, and then we made the world's first hexagonal spring.
I have never seen a hexagonal spring.
I'm gonna fall over if you keep
and put it on the frame. And now the solenoid should pop out, hitting the release pin and knocking it off.
Nice, okay. I believe you now that it happened on camera.
Which it does, but we don't know if the release pin will actually stay on while the motor is spinning at high speed. So we gave it a test behind my not so blast-proof blast shield.
Is it gonna fly? Is it gonna fly?
Perfect.
And that is everything working. So I just sprayed it and put on some safety tape to remind us not to go near it while it's spinning. And now I just need to find a place to spin this guy up. And last time I did it in the abandoned drug house down the road. And that is still an option as I live close to another abandoned house, but that's also next to a preschool. And this guy is going to be spinning a lot faster